episode of the Goalpreneur podcast. I would like to introduce you to Sara, as she is a certified health and wellness coach who specializes in supporting moms through the physical, emotional, and lifestyle shifts of motherhood. This episode is going to be amazing. Sara Sandland, thank you so much for joining us on the Goalpreneur podcast. Today, our topic of conversation is so good and very much needed. It's how prioritizing your holistic health and wellness will help you thrive both in motherhood and in your career or personal endeavors. Hot topic here. Let's get started, huh?
Yeah. Hi, Courtney. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. And you do such great work around educating and inspiring people to really take charge of their lives and go after their dreams. So I'm thrilled to be part of it.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited to have you here. So let's talk about you. I want you to impart your wisdom on me. I got my own kids, but I want you to impart your wisdom on me and my audience that is listening, because majority of us are mothers, and dealing with health and wellness and motherhood, it can sometimes seem like a dumpster fire. That is what I've experienced at times. And it's just like, I need help. I need somebody to show me and tell me a different way, because this is not how motherhood should be. So let's talk about that.
Absolutely. I love that. Kind of turning it on its head, see what we can do differently. So like you said, I'm a certified health and wellness coach who really specializes in maternal health and wellness and the motherhood experience. So I work closely with moms, really focusing on how to physically and mentally rebalance after, everything new that comes their way, so that they can really experience the best of motherhood and also the best of their careers and their personal endeavors. Because once you're a mom, your life expands. It doesn't shift. You don't have to only be a mom, right? Your life is expanding. You're also a mom, but you also have personal goals and aspirations that you want to follow as well.
Yeah.
So more specifically, I can help moms improve things like their energy, their overstimulation, fulfillment, overwhelm, fertility, all sorts of things. And we do that through adjustments in their lifestyle, behavior, and mindsets. So I think what's really going to be helpful, hopefully, for your audience is talking about that strong connection between maternal health and wellness and the success of their careers and personal endeavors. Because what I found is a lot of times when women become moms and they are starting to have that balance or find that balance between motherhood and their family life and their careers and their personal aspirations, is they go straight to focusing on just feeling like they're getting more organized. So they focus on things like goal setting and time management, productivity, confidence. How can I be more proactive? Which are all super important and great tools and skills to have. But oftentimes they miss out on the power of prioritizing their health and wellness and what that can do in their success for those other tools and skills that they're trying to build. So in other words, your body is only going to allow you to be as productive as the energy that it has. So that's going to depend on how equipped your body is to operate at that higher level, both mentally and physically. So this becomes especially important in motherhood when you're getting hit in all directions. There's a lot of stress that your body is under for a lot of different reasons. So that's taking up a lot more bandwidth than you might think.
Yeah. So let's start. How old are your kids? They
So
younger?
They're on the younger side. So I say they. I currently have one 3-year-old, and I have another one on the way who's due in August.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, you're getting ready to.
I know.
mean, it's like a built-in playmate at that point. It's
Absolutely
gonna be amazing.
Yes, we're so excited.
Yeah. So boy, girl.
So my 3-year-old is a girl, and this one is also a girl. So we're going to have some sisters in the house.
Makes things a lot easier. I will say that.
Really? Okay.
Having girls. I mean, so we're kind of just sidestepping here for a quick second.
Of course.
Having girls that are close in age. So my sister and I are 2.5 years apart. it was like that love-hate relationship. But when you get older, it's like the sharing of clothes and then the
Mhm.
friends, and you just have that built-in playmate and then close friend later on in life. It's a really special bond that sisters can have. So
I
I'm
love
excited
that.
for you.
I
I think
love
it's gonna be
that. Yes,
amazing.
I'm so excited for them to have that relationship.
Yeah. So let's back up a little bit because um how did you know like what realm or what fields industry niche, let's start with niche. What niche you wanted to specialize in? I mean, did you always know that you wanted to work with women and motherhood and just helping them, or was it more you decided after the fact, like you became a mother and you're like, oh my gosh, there's a lot that goes with this, and here's how I navigated it, and I know I can help other women.
Yeah, it was kind of a gradual thing, like realizing where my passion was. So I've always had a passion for, health and wellness, especially when I, was pregnant with my first child and going through that experience, and certainly postpartum and seeing firsthand, all the changes that happen, and also how hard it is for moms to get support.
Mhm.
It's not a built-in thing that's handed to you. You kind of have to figure it out yourself. So kind of a combination of already having a passion for, pregnancy and birth and the motherhood experience, and being excited for that process myself, combined with my own personal experience postpartum and seeing firsthand all of those changes. It kind of clicked to combine those two. Like, I can combine my passion for health and wellness with now my passion for helping other moms on their motherhood journeys. And that's where it came from.
Yeah, for sure. Um, when you, let's see, after you had your daughter, like what was the main shift for you that was like, oh, I need to take a step back? Was it just one
Yeah.
thing, like one big thing, or were there a lot of little things adding
There
up?
were a lot of things, I would say, that added up, a lot of little things. I think you go into the postpartum period expecting it to be difficult. You think of, oh, I'm not going to have much sleep. Um, but you kind of, and I'm speaking for many moms here, I'm sure, but you kind of assume that your body will figure it out. You know, um, it's going to be a tough time, but I'll bounce back. Or you may also have the idea of, every mom is tired. This is just going to be my new normal. Um, so for me, there were several things, that I was noticing. I'm very in tune with my body. I would say one of the biggest things was definitely exhaustion, and it lasted for a while. And I thought, eventually I was like, I'm very tired. I know I'm supposed to be tired as a mom, but what's normal tired and what's a lot of tired, like what's too much, where like maybe there's, I can do something about this. So I really dove into that, and I started exploring what could I switch around in my lifestyle, different areas of my life where I can start giving my body more support.
Mhm. What was the biggest shift for you after you decided that? Like, what was your number one strategy that you found so helpful?
Yeah, I would say I came across this bank account analogy.
Okay.
So if you think of your body like a bank account, where instead of money, it's energy. So there's your body is under a lot of stress, a lot of newness, in motherhood, not just postpartum, but throughout motherhood. And so there's things that you're doing every day that are giving your body energy, and there's things that you're doing every day that are draining that energy.
Mhm.
And so when you think about in motherhood, it's very common for the withdrawals from that bank account to be outweighing the deposits that you're making.
Yep.
Um, and finding a way to have a dual approach. So finding ways to give your body more energy, and also lessening the impacts of the activities that are going on that are draining that energy, with the sole goal of having more money in your bank account. And once your body has more energy, more money in its bank account, it's very smart. It knows what it needs to do with that energy. And that's when you start really feeling better and more energetic. And we can go through, the different, what's actually changing in your body postpartum, the symptoms you can have, but there are a lot of them, and it's different for everybody.
Mhm. Now, is that something I would assume that you go through in your one-on-one coaching calls?
Exactly. Yes. And because it is different for everyone has different, root causes or contributing factors or areas of their life that they may struggle more in or be lacking more energy in. It's a very personalized approach. So that is something I go through with my clients, is taking a full holistic picture of their entire life. And not, we're not talking just, diet and exercise, which are very important components, but every area of their life, their relationships, their fulfillment, is their nervous system, regulated or dysregulated. We dive into every area to really zone in on, for them specifically, what is it that's going to move the needle for them.
Okay. And then so when you're working with a business owner, or an entrepreneur, and are you still approaching it the same way, or do you have like a different set of rules basically for, motherhood and then
Mhm.
business owners? Or is it kind of just combined into one and then each,
Yeah.
like you said, each is unique?
What's really cool is it's kind of combined into one, because and kind of what I was talking about at the beginning is, if you have that solid foundation of your health and wellness, it's going to impact every area of your life. So you will have more capacity and bandwidth to be successful in your career, or have the energy to find that fulfillment in your personal endeavors, if you have that solid baseline um, wellness. Like if your
Mhm.
health and wellness are on track and you feel balanced, that's going to impact everything. So I really go back to all the holistic basics for everyone, and the conversation goes from there. It'll become evident where they want to focus on or where they might need the most help in, and
Mhm.
we explore those areas specifically. And of course, tying in what are their specific goals and vision, and a lot of times that will tie in their career. So we'll talk about how that affects their career. What does their workplace look like? What are their relationships in the workplace look like? And it can, go out from there in many different directions, but we usually start in that same core space.
Okay. So I just had a thought come to my mind, and I love success stories. I love hearing about other people's stories and challenges and how they overcame them. I mean, that's kind of part of the point of the Goalpreneur podcast is
Yeah.
this is real, it's raw, it's real life, and here are challenges, and here's how you're going to overcome them. I mean, it's just, if you listen to any of the episodes, it's just very straightforward with all of my guests, and they all have some sort of like nuggets of wisdom. And I feel like you are just another piece of that puzzle, this amazingly beautiful puzzle that we call life. And you're bringing in your holistic aspect and strategies and tips to help that person get to the next level. I just got goosebumps
Thank
talking
you.
about that because it is exciting. It's exciting when you can see, and I do want to have you tell like a success story, somebody that really sticks out. But I think it's exciting to see and kind of paint that picture for the listener of, look, this is where this person was at. These are the challenges, but over time, these are the levels that they bumped up to. This is where they're thriving now, and they're doing amazing.
Yes.
I love success stories and testimonials like that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that's really like standing out in your mind that was like, oh my gosh, I'm just beyond ecstatic for her?
Yeah. I think my favorite thing is really when it clicks. Because I think a lot of people go after a quick fix, or some holy grail solution that's out there. Like, oh, I saw this on Instagram and it's going to be my one saving grace. But when it really clicks that it's such a unique experience and journey and something to work on over time to see like real sustainable results, that's super exciting.
Mhm.
To see them really understand the process and how it's going to help them more than anything else. But I would say definitely moms at first, when they're like in the thick of it, they're feeling like they don't have options. And to see someone go from that mindset of this is my new normal, I'm stuck in this, I don't have I don't have the energy or capacity to give myself to anything else outside of being a mom. And I love being a mom. It's not that they don't want to be a mom or they're not enjoying it, but they feel like everything is going to their family life and their, career aspirations that they may have once had are just not possible or not going to happen anytime soon. And seeing that journey going from that mindset to seeing the progress, seeing the potential, suddenly having the energy, like their overstimulation is gone. They're much more energized, they're focused. There's, a lot of symptoms that they were having are now, either gone or much better. And they suddenly have this passion and zest that they don't even know what to do with. And this is still when they have little ones, or maybe this could be when you have, older kids and you're finding this journey at that time. But yeah, seeing that transition in mindset and seeing someone finally understand what their options are and what the possibilities are and making their dreams a reality is very exciting.
I think and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you become a mom, as soon as you find out you're pregnant, now you're carrying another life. You're growing a life inside of you. It's like your life now is about that baby and looking forward, and then delivery. And now it's like, "Ooh,
Mhm.
now I have this little being that I'm responsible for." Like you said before, that's where energy goes. And we make thousands of decisions every single day. And now we have to make thousands more for our kids. Um, and
Yeah.
then trying to manage house, and then relationships and marriage and all the other things that go with that.
Mhm.
Um, but it's some women, I feel like when they become a mom, it's like that's their identity, is motherhood, and doesn't matter what their dreams or aspirations were, kind of takes a back seat. But it sounds like it doesn't have to be that way at all. I mean, you, Sarah, are living proof that you can build a business
Yeah.
and be a mom and raise little ones and go through pregnancy and still be successful. You are living
Yeah.
proof.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
so for the listener that is kind of going through what I just described, what are some quick wins to help her along the way to know that she's not alone, that there is hope, and it doesn't have to be difficult? I think we make it more difficult than it has to be.
I agree. I think, oh, there's so much. We could talk for hours on this. I think the biggest thing is if you're feeling in the thick of it, first step is don't put so much pressure on yourself um, to feel, 100% by tomorrow. It's all about little steps. It's all about making gradual changes. Um, Also know, like you said, you are not alone. This is so, so common that moms are feeling this way. I think in terms of a first step that they could take to get some wins is to really think about your whole life, like every area of your life in terms of that bank account analogy that I was talking about. And think about what are some opportunities? It doesn't have to be a huge change. What are small changes that I can make that are going to give my body a little more energy? or lessening some things that are draining my energy.
Mhm.
So I'll give some examples of, what each of those could be. So um, to give yourself more energy, deposits into your bank account, that would be things like eating more whole, unprocessed foods. And it doesn't mean that you have to completely do a 180 with your diet overnight, but little changes that you can make that you probably think don't even make a difference, they add up. So finding opportunities to do that. Sleep is also a big thing, which is funny because
Who
moms
would have thought?
don't get
Sleep,
sleep.
who needs
Like,
that?
like how can I improve my sleep when my baby doesn't sleep through the night? But there are opportunities if you think about each area of your life and what you do. Think about like your activities that you do in a day. Just go through mentally all of those things and think about, is this adding to my energy or is this depleting my energy? Things that could deplete your energy without you even thinking about it. Inflammation. So if you have, poor gut health,
Mhm.
that is a huge stressor to the body. If your digestion has changed after having a baby or in motherhood, that's definitely an important focus area that can help a lot with lowering inflammation. Same thing with the products you're using every day. Think about, what are the ingredients in this? Like, what am I putting on my body or in my body? Because any of those toxins can also put a lot of stress over time on your body. So any opportunity like that, switching out a product, just little switches like that can help lighten the load, all make a difference. And when you do that in multiple areas of your life, they all add up. It's incredible.
Yeah. So not we're not getting political at all here. But who's that? RFK Jr., Robert Jr. Um, making America healthy again and looking at all of the toxins that are in our foods, our products, and even this is so it was so mind blowing to me back when I first started learning about holistic wellness back in the early 2000s. All the things that I was using on my oldest, she'll be 24 in August, but when she was a baby, all of the products that I was using on her, chemicals, full of chemicals. That's what we're doing to our kids. I'm so grateful for Robert Kennedy, and the I hope that is his name. I'm trying to blank. But like I said, hello, this is real life. It's raw. But I mean, look at the products that we're using on our kids and
Yep.
on ourselves. And it's just like you said, it's just adding to that. So if we can make
Mhm.
our lives easier, get rid of that inflammation, get rid of or decrease that toxic load, I mean, that in itself will just make you feel 100 times better.
Totally agree. And
Yeah.
it can feel overwhelming and exhausting. If this is not an area that you've looked into previously or done a lot of research in, it can be stressful starting out, having that realization of what is in our products
Oh
and
yeah.
what's safe, what's not, like what are my options, what alternatives. It feels very overwhelming. Um, and I go back to, like, you do not have to boil the ocean, right? Like these, and you don't have to switch out every product today. This is just over time, taking, one product at a time, um, looking into other alternatives and making the swap, because it's sad, but it's true that we have to advocate for ourselves in
Hmm.
that. A lot of what's on the shelf at the store is not great. And it's a sad reality, but the more we educate ourselves, the more empowered we'll be to make good decisions.
Yeah. I love that you hit home again on the you don't have to do everything at once, just baby steps. I love that
Yeah.
you said that again, just to reiterate. Um, I feel like when people are starting something new or starting to make change, it's like all in 100%, you know, full force ahead. And it's easy to get overwhelmed because there's just so many new things that you're trying to implement at once. It's like, no,
Right.
just take a step back. Just do one thing at a time. Make that towards a habit and then add in another thing. It's just like that you said, the small, simple shifts will make a long-lasting impact.
Completely agree. And that's what I do with my clients too, even in the coaching relationship, is we don't go all in all at once, because that's not sustainable. When you think of any drastic change you've made in your lifestyle in the past, you probably started out super motivated, you know, ready to get going, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
lasted for X amount of time. And a lot of times it just doesn't last because you're expecting too much from yourself too soon.
Mhm.
And like you said, like that's not how habits are formed. So
Yeah.
taking that gradual approach, taking the long, or playing the long game, is really going to pay off more than anything else.
1,000%. Totally agree with you. Um, do you have an app when you go to the store? Do you have an app that you use or you suggest your clients use just to
I
check on ratings?
Mhm. Yeah, so I definitely check EWG,
Yep.
Environmental Working Group. I check that one a lot. Um, that's probably the biggest one I use for products, I would say.
Okay. All right. I know that was the one I originally started using back in like 2005, 2006.
Mhm.
That was the big one. Now Yuka or Yucca is
Yeah,
another
that's a
app
good
that
one.
came out. You like that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
My kids use it and they're like, "Oh, this is great ratings, no toxic ingredients."
Yes.
And I'm like, "Okay, that's good." They've gotten me to start using it, and it makes things, the buying, so much easier. So much
Yes,
easier.
like someone else has done the work for me, and I just gotta look at the results.
Yes, work smarter, not harder. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's talk about your one-on-one coaching. So
Yeah.
if you go to your website, what is it? Notablywell.com, Notably well.com. Your website is gorgeous. I told you
Thank
that before we
you.
started recording. I love the flow, the colors. It's just like it oozes this holistic vibe, this very tranquil, calming vibe. Let's talk about your coaching because you work one on one with clients and you were thinking long term group coaching that is
Mhm.
down the road.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So as of now, I work exclusively one on one. And I definitely pull in the holistic aspect as well as the personalized approach. So again, you you can do all the research in the world. The most success you're going to have is if you really think about your body and your life and what you need specifically, and taking all of that noise on the internet with a grain of salt. So that's what I like to do with my clients, is combine the holistic approach with making it all about them. I don't have a cookie cutter solution that I just hand over to everyone and say, here's your protocol. We really have, vulnerable, deep conversations. We really dig into every area of their life, so that they can have a unique and personalized experience. So, just to give everyone an idea of what that could look like or include. Um, so, the coaching experience would include things like providing personalized guidance, support, and education. Also, identifying and addressing your unique contributing factors and roadblocks to physically and mentally rebalancing, not just the standard ones that a lot of people tend to try. And then talking through collaboratively, like what are the holistic solutions we want to go after, and then looking at a roadmap for that. So how are we actually going to implement it? That's another struggle that people have, is they get great advice on lifestyle changes to make or things that could really help them, but they have no idea where to start with making it a reality or actually incorporating it into their daily life.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, figuring out a plan to actually implement those action steps. And then also providing accountability support. So helping them stay on track, overcome roadblocks along the way. You can have a perfect plan, but there's always going to be something along the way that, interrupts that plan, and you need to shift or readjust. And then, of course, which I think is so important and something that a lot of programs leave off, is that self-discovery piece. I don't want my clients to be dependent on me forever. I want them to learn how to listen to their body's cues. I want them to know how to shift if they experience challenges, um, and really how to listen to their body so that even after we wrap up our coaching relationship, for the rest of their life, they understand how to take charge of their health and wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So sustained motivation, sustained, long-term success, that is super important as well, and something that we talk about in our sessions.
So I wrote down length. I love writing notes down as I hear you talk. I'm like, oh, that's so good. I need to remember to talk about that. Um, is your coaching program, is it the same for everybody, or is it all dependent on where they are in their journey, on their path? Some might be shorter, others are a little bit longer. Is it like that specifically unique?
It's very customizable. In terms of like a minimum length, I do, I think my basic package is 6 sessions. And usually that's bi-weekly. If the client really wants to do weekly and have more consistent check-ins, I can do that too. But usually it's 6 bi-weekly sessions, so about a 3-month period in total. I have another option for people who may want more continuous support or may have more complex challenges that they want to address, and that is 12 sessions. So bi-weekly, that would end up being at around 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, clients can extend that, as they go if they feel they need more sessions or want to work on other areas. That's a possibility as well.
Okay. Which leads me into what is I got like 4 questions running through my mind right now. So your overall biggest piece of advice,
Mhm.
and then let's talk about the goodie that you're offering my
Yeah,
listeners.
of course.
Yeah.
So, biggest piece of advice I would say is to always remember that you have more influence over your motherhood and career experience than you think. Um, it may feel super overwhelming right now and you don't know where to start, but just always remember that there are so many options available to you. You have to find them, and you have to, like I said earlier, sadly, advocate for yourself, right? Like you have to go after them because there's no doctor that's going to be checking in on you every every couple months.
Yeah.
But always remember that you have more power than you think, and you can always take that journey into your own hands.
Mhm. Mhm. And then what freebie, what free gift, value gift are you offering my listeners?
Yeah. So one of the many lifestyle aspects I found that changes in a huge way and actually has a surprising impact in motherhood is how women are eating their meals. So I don't mean like the actual food, which is very important as well, but even just the manner in which they're eating. So I wanted to share a free resource to your audience, and it just discusses 8 very common eating habits of moms that are actually worsening their exhaustion and overstimulation without them realizing it. And it's a great resource, I think, to have. I talked earlier about just starting with looking at your day-to-day life and the activities that you are involved in each day, and if that's giving your body energy or draining energy. And this is one, just a little resource to add to that process, specifically on how you're eating that you can incorporate.
You've piqued my interest. And that, I mean, I was just like my audience, I'm hearing that for the first time. So you definitely piqued my interest on that one. So is that right on your homepage of your website, or is there a special link that we need to click?
There is a link, and it can either, I don't know if it'll be in the show notes, but it's also on my website. If you go to my website, there's a tab called free resources. If you click that, it'll be one of them.
Okay, perfect. I will put that into the show notes as well.
Perfect.
But where can my audience find you if they're like, oh my gosh, this is somebody I have got to work with because she's just hit on all my points. Where can my audience find you? And again, this will
Yeah.
also be in the show notes. I'll make it nice and easy for them.
Thank you. Yes, the best way to get in touch with me and to learn more about how I support moms is to visit my website that Courtney mentioned. So that's www.notablywell.com, NOTABLYWELL. You can also follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Notably Well. And I also offer free discovery calls. So if this is resonating with you, or you feel like you might be interested in health and wellness coaching for moms, or you just want to ask some questions, feel free to go to my website and book a free call with me.
That's awesome. That is really great. Okay. Sara, thank you so much for being on the Goalpreneur podcast. I love everything that we talked about, and you are changing the lives of moms. You're helping them reconnect with themselves, become grounded, more balanced. This is just what I gathered hearing you talk, and your energy and your passion for helping moms, and even women without kids, that need help in other areas of their lives. Like, you are doing it. And like I said, you are living proof you can be a mom. You can still have a business. You can still manage your career. You can do it all. Just one thing at a time, one step at a time.
Yes.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
Sara, thanks for being here. I really appreciate the conversation, and we will definitely chat again soon.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.